John Thune, Thune McCaskill, Chuck Hagel, Jack Reed,
John McCain,
Senator Obama,
Barack Obama.
I basically met with the same folks that John McCain met with after he won the nomination. And nobody suggested that that was audacious. His entire approach to foreign policy rests on that support of Bush's decision to send more troops in. But we can have a whole range of arguments about past decisions. The decision to go into Iraq in the first place.
I think John is treading on some very thin ground here when he impugns motives, and when we start to get into you're less patriotic than me.
All I'm saying is, and I will repeat, he does not understand. I'm not questioning his patriotism. I am saying that he made the decision, which was political, in order to help him get the nomination.
It is fascinating to me to hear you guys re-emphasize this over and over again. I have not heard yet somebody ask John McCain whether his vote to go into Iraq was a mistake. But there were also statements made during the course of this debate in which I said there's no doubt that additional U.S. troops could temporarily quell the violence.
Did the surge help?
I think the surge helped, but it wasn't a silver bullet, because you know what? We got more troops there now than we had before the surge. We're still borrowing $2 billion a week from China. We still do not have the troops we need in Afghanistan.
It's the conditions on the ground. If Senator Obama had had his way, we'd have been out last March, and we'd have been out in defeat and chaos, and probably had to come back again.
It's driving them bonkers in the McCain campaign, because here Barack Obama in the primary successfully used Hillary Clinton's past vote on the Iraq War and John Edwards' past vote on the Iraq War to club them all election long. He said, I had the right judgment. Now Barack Obama's in the general election, he's saying, let's not talk about the past, let's talk about the future. And
those troops would have loved to seen him. And I know of no Pentagon regulation that would have prevented him from going there without the media and the press.
Opponents of affirmative action are trying to get a referendum on the ballot here that would do away with affirmative action. Do you support that?
Yes, I do. I do not believe in quotas, but I have not seen the details of some of these proposals, but I've always opposed
But the
quotas.
one here in Arizona you support?
I support it, yes.
I am disappointed, though, that John McCain flipped and changed his position. I think in the past he had been opposed to these kinds of Ward Carnley referenda or initiatives as divisive, and I think he's right.
My position is it's not the reason why I'm running for president of the United States, and I think that two-parent families are best for America.
would you appear with him once, twice, 3 times a week in town halls?
Well, you know, the problem that we're going to have right now is we've got 3 debates, the official debates that we've definitely scheduled, and debates take time. I mean, when you start having presidential debates, there's preparation and all that stuff. I made a pledge that the next time you heard me talk about vice president, it would be to introduce my vice presidential running mate.
Let me tell you, I'm going to do something that people don't do around Washington very often. I think you're not supposed to do this. I think anybody in Washington would be thrilled to be asked to be vice president.
So you'd say yes?
Well, you know, I would like to meet somebody who wouldn't.
Have you been asked to turn over personal information to the campaign?
I have not.
No one has talked to me about it. I fully expect that Barack Obama will choose someone in his own party. I don't expect any of that. I'm not interested in it. If you're asked to consider something, of course you've got to do that.
I've thought about this, and I am very committed and very dedicated to pursuing a career in the United States Senate.
I've been told that when you're talking about your vice presidential pick, the way you characterize it is you want to scramble the jets with your pick. What does that mean?
I've never used that phrase.
Never used that phrase?
Never. I want to be the best team that we can provide the United States of America in very difficult times.
Are you getting close on a decision?
We're still in the process.
Hypothetical question, I'm not prepared to answer that question. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that you've looked at the...
If he asked you, you'd say yes, wouldn't you?
Well, it's obviously, you don't rule anything out in this profession, but it's certainly not anything I aspire to.
Have you been asked to turn over personal information to the campaign?
I have not.
Well, you have to take positions whether other nations agree or not, because you have to do what's best for America.
Got some visitors here.
And the world. That's Sam. Look at Russia's actions in the last week or so. He'll get out.
He'll get out. He'll be fine.
You talk too much.